Hello, welcome to Board Games with Niramas. I'm Joseph or Niramas, and I'm here today with Drako. And Drako got some Drako got some weird green screen shadow there for some reason, but he's okay. No worries. We are at home. We are staying at home, which I think you should do as well if you can in these times. I think it's a good idea if you can work from home and so on. Now I can obviously work from home a lot since my whole YouTubing thing is at home in my studio now. Haven't been that active lately, and I will talk a bit about why in this update. And this update the update itself has been delayed as well because of all these things going on. But let's get to the first topic, which is the whole reason why I sort of got out of balance with the channel. So, what can it be, 7 weeks ago or something like that, early February. I mean, I got the diagnosed with diabetes, and it's a type 2 diabetes, so it's what they usually in Sweden at least they call it like aging, and it's also like the risks of getting this disease is based on your living habits, what you eat, and how you take care of your body, basically, how much sugar you consume and so on. But also all of that I haven't been doing well. On top of that, it's also something that the risk will increase if you had it in your family. And both my mother and my grandparents and so on had diabetes as well. So I had it on like in the back of my mind for some years, really, that maybe that's going to show up if I don't, turn my life around, if I don't start making some changes to my living patterns. But I also had this idea that, well, it's gonna, I have a lot of time. I'm not that old. There's no rush, which is stupid, of course. And sometimes I guess this is how life works. This is how human nature works in some ways in these days, at least in the part, modern Western civilization. It's sort of like you have all this time, you have money, you have the opportunities. Most people have the opportunity to, go outside for a walk 30 minutes or 60 minutes a day, even if you work and all that. And you can also do that, like, walk to the bus, or instead of taking the car all the time, you can, all that stuff is out there. There's gyms everywhere. There's so many ways with diets and all this. It's like a whole industry of how to get fit, basically, and what to eat, what not to eat. And still, it's like, it's so hard to do that, to change your life around and actually, get these good habits going. And in my case, it is what it is. I had to get this disease diagnosed to make me motivated, or to make me realize the seriousness in the situation. Because if I don't do anything, if I just keep going like I have for the last at least 15 years, I'll probably end up with a heart attack or something like that. I might do that anyway in 10 or 5 or 15 or 20 years or whatever. But at least now I am motivated to turn my life around and do a bunch of life changes. So in the last 2 months almost now, I started exercising like I never did before. I did in my teens and in my early 20s. I was in really good shape. I had a knee injury when I was 21, I think, or 20, and that was like at the same time as when you stop growing and you keep eating the same amount as I did when I really was an athlete. And I started sitting down, playing computer games and whatnot, and worrying about my broken knee, and I had surgery and all that. So that was a bad combination. That sort of made me grow in a different way. And then it's been staying with me for all these years. I had at least, somewhere between 10 and 25 or something kilos of overweight for 15 years. It's been going a little bit up and down, but it's gotten worse the last years. To be honest, I've been taking the car everywhere. I haven't been exercising. I've been eating basically my biggest problem is not my eating. It's actually I've been consuming way too much, Coca-Cola and sugar drinks, juice and all that stuff, Red Bull and all that. So basically now, since 2 months back, I'm not drinking any sugar at all. I don't even have sugar in my tea anymore. I removed that it's quite good with tea anyway, right? So yeah, I really cut down on that. I cut down on like pastries and snacks and all that stuff. And I've been starting doing these long walks every day. And I lost about 7 kilos so far, so it's going well, and I'll just keep heading that way. I am taking some medication, some metformin, that also helps my body deal with the sugar and how that works. Now, I didn't know that much about diabetes, and the first thing I thought about when I got the diagnosis was like, oh, I have to take these syringes with insulin. Because that's the sort of image I had. And I think a lot of people have that about diabetes. That's the type 1, basically. And that's something you usually get when you're younger. My niece actually got it a few years ago, like 2 years ago, I think. And, he has to take these the insulin shots every day. And that's the whole picture I made in my mind. And it just freaked me out when I got the diagnose, but then I started realizing that, okay, this is something else. The problem is not the insulin really. The problem is that my body doesn't handle, like the insulin goes out in my body, but it doesn't do what it should do because of the fat and the overweight, and also because I'm always adding sugar, right? So these changes, and with the medicine now I have it's not perfect yet, but I have a decent value on my sugar. I have this thing I test myself every day at home. I don't have to test myself every day, but I'm doing it because I want to, keep track of it now, as it's sort of new for me, and it's going well. I'm sort of on good levels, not perfect, but good levels, and it's going to get better as time goes by, and I'm increasing my medication and so on. So I'm not really that worried about it right now. I think I can handle this, and I think that I really have, like, for me now, there's no option to go back to drinking Coca-Cola every day and sitting around, because I enjoy it. I love going out for walks. I love going to the gym as well when I can. Now we have another crisis, obviously, that's not just affecting me going on right now, which means I won't be going to the gym because I don't want to expose myself for that. I think it would be a big. I think it would be a big issue for me if I got the coronavirus, since my body right now is not in the best shape. So I'm hoping to avoid it at least as long as I can, and exercise and eat healthy, and hopefully I can and manage that if that happens. I hope I can avoid it. So let's just let's head over to that subject and let's talk more about it. And of course, there's so much going on right now with the coronavirus, and so much in the media. It's like everything you read about these days have something to do with that. And the whole economical situation as well is something that worries a lot of people, me included. We see countries shutting down totally. Maybe a good idea for the actual, not spread the virus and all that, but not such a good idea for a capitalistic market-driven economy. So, yeah, we'll see what it ends up in. But I just hope that you stay safe out there. If you can, I do recommend that do what me and Drako, we're staying at home. We can do it right now, and then we will do that. So if you can, or at least if try to avoid big crowds, basically. It's so different in different countries as well. In Sweden, it's like maximum 500 people can gather, which is a lot of people. So that's, in Germany, I think it's maximum 2 people now. So it's really different how the different governments approach this, I guess. And I think there's ups and downs to it all. I don't think there's any perfect solution. If there were, everyone would do that, right? So it is worrisome, it's troublesome, and let's talk a little bit about how it affects gaming, because this is a gaming channel after all. I'm usually not this kind of personal in my channel, as I just were with the whole diabetes talk, but I think at some points I think it's suited, and I should also say, I didn't say it on that topic, but also the whole why I haven't been so active on the channel. It's both this whole life change, of course, but it's also since I cut down on the sugar and all that, I got some. Not anymore. I'm okay now, I think. But for a few weeks after there, I got some real withdrawals effects. Like my body didn't get the good. My brain likes that good stuff, right? The sugar, and it didn't get it. So I was really tired. I was really, had a bad temper and all that. So therefore, I haven't really filmed that much either for that reason. But let's gaming world-wise and the coronavirus. Well, the first thing I think that we're seeing is it affects the whole Kickstarter and new games coming out. That's going to be tough. People don't really want to spend money that way. They want to, they don't know if they're going to keep their jobs, and we can't go out gaming with our friends and all that. So I think digital board games have been going up, of course. Myself, I'm doing a lot of digital board gaming right now, as you've seen. I do the streams with Gloomhaven and Terraforming Mars and Aeon's End and other games as well are to come on the channel, because that's something I can do from home, and people can watch it from their home. So I mean, that's a good sort of substitute for now, at least. I hope that this will not be for a year or whatever. I hope that this will blow over, so if in some way tone down, and we get to some kind of peak in Europe and in US and all over the world. I hope so, really. But so yeah, I think the board gaming will go, it will be a hard stroke to all businesses, as well as board gaming, and the production line is affected, and yeah, there's so much being affected right now. Maybe some kind of positive thing in the whole thing is that we have the digital board games, we have internet, we have this. I don't know if this was 20 years ago, or 25 years ago, then this would have been harder. I guess people read books back then. I don't know. I don't know what they did. I don't know, before internet. But I mean, we can do gaming. We can have conferences over the internet. We can still sort of keep in touch with people in a good way. So we should be happy about that. But okay, I think that's it. Let's head to the next subject of the day. And it is a continuation, basically, because my game, Drakos Adventure game, where Drako goes on a meatball hunt and his adventure, it is going to be postponed. I was planning for it to be out in February, and for the whole, with the whole basically, that's also an effect on the gaming that I should mention here in Sweden and everywhere, is the conventions. I mean, we don't have conventions going now. I was so looking forward to this convention spring. There's like 5 of them in Sweden during the spring and early summer, and they're all cancelled, of course. UK Games Expo was postponed to August, so hopefully that's okay, and I can go there by then. I hope that Essen is going to happen, Essen Spiel in October, in late October in Germany. Would make me really sad if we couldn't go there. But then again, in the perspective of things, of course they shouldn't run if we have a risk of people getting sick or dying, basically. So yeah, that's the thing. And Drakos Adventure will be postponed a little bit here. I'm thinking late April, probably, on Kickstarter, or early May. And the same goes for my annual Kickstarter that I do for the channel. It's usually in May. That's going to be sort of postponed as well. It's going to be maybe in July or something like that, so that there's a gap between the Kickstarter for the Drakos Adventure game, because that's one separate thing. I don't want to mix that up with my whole sort of channel Kickstarter, where I sort of ask the viewers to support me doing videos. That's 2 different things, so I want to keep that separate. So it is coming, but it's going to be a little bit later on here. But I look forward to it. Drako is as well. It's going to be really fun to get his game up on Kickstarter. And then let's talk about something positive here on the channel, or in the channel update. We have hit 1 million views. We're over 1 million views on the channel now in 3.5 years or so. And most, like half of those views are in the last year. So it's really, ramping up, and of course the channel has been a bit inactive lately, and the views have gone down. But overall, I'm really happy to just hit that milestone, 1 million views. That's just cool. It's obviously not 1 million different people, since a lot of you watch more than one video, right? But still, it's really cool. So that's something to be happy about, and I just hope that we can keep going, staying healthy and productive, and hit the 2 million mark at some point in the future. So yeah, the plan is just keep the channel going, and let's talk a little bit more about that. So upcoming for March and April. Now, my last update was in January, and I had a few promises there with the Terraforming Mars solo playthrough number 2 with the Thermal expansion, and I think I also talked about Tapestry and Anachrony. And they're all coming. It's just that it's been delayed for those reasons I explained earlier. But it is coming, of course, here during the spring. I'm not really sure what will come in March and April. I will keep doing these like almost daily streams of digital board games. I hope you enjoy those, but I'm also going to start recording videos again. It's like sort of it's weird because when you've been away for it a little bit, it's like it's a little push you need to do to get back into it, to do the recordings, to sort of, I don't know why, but it's when I'm for these years that I've been doing the YouTubing, it's just on routine. I just keep doing it, like filming and recording and editing and posting videos all the time, and I don't even really think about it. But now, since I had this sort of some kind of break, getting the games to the table and actually filming them, it feels like a little bit of a uphill thing, but I'll get there. I am on my table right now. I have these lovely little, see if you can see those, lovely little minis painted by Martin here for Sanctum. So Sanctum is set up on my table, so that's the next game I will be filming a playthrough for. With Drako, we're going to do a 2-player playthrough. So that's basically the next thing coming here. Sanctum, it's basically Diablo, the board game, and I really enjoy it. At least the experience for a few times. It has some problems with replayability. I'll get more into that in something else that is coming very soon here. The first impressions vlog, where I talk about games that I have played and my first impressions of those. I know that people really like those vlogs. So there is one coming here soon in a few days. And I'm going to record it after I recorded this. And in that one, I played 11 new games, and that's since basically in February and March. Now, most of those games were played before the whole quarantine thing happened, so I guess it's going to be a bit delayed, or sort of next time I'll do an update, which is going to be in a month or so. Then it's not going to be that many games. So, but I am still playing new games, but I might play them with myself or with Drakos and solo gaming and all that. I have a few solo games from Spiel that I also want to get to the table. There's so many games I want to film and so on, but they're all coming in due time. So thank you so much for watching this update. We are going to end it with a little shout out. If you go to the description down here, you can click a link there to get to a really cool documentary that a documentary filmer made, where he follows some board game designers, Anton Bausa and some other famous designers, and he checks out their life and how it is to be a board game designer. And I thought that video was really nice, so I wanted to give a shout out to it, so you can go check it out. The link will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy out there, stay at home if you can, and do what you can to stay healthy. And I'll hope we'll see you all in a month or so when I'll get back to another update like this. But in a few days, it's going to be a first impressions vlog as well. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening, morning, or whatever you're watching. Take care. Bye bye.
Be like Drako. Follow Board Games with Niramas on Facebook at BGW Niramas.